Today we're going to take a look at BenQ camera, and this camera has a punch, as you guys can see. It comes with all these accessories. We're going to go over a little detail of what you get. Now, first of all, look at this. This is actually like a microscope, so you can actually see micro things into the camera itself. It's an attachment for it, right? There's actually a USB because you get to remote control the actual functions of the camera with the actual system. Now, this one has a beautiful grip. It reminds me of the actual Surface dial. It's similar to it. Any three-dimensional programs out there, they come with dial like just like this. Now this one has a bunch of functions in here up the front, and we're going to go over them. We're going to test them out, every single one of them. Now the camera can go up to 4K. It has a punch. It's a little tiny camera, but look at this long wire. It's all nylon, and it has an LED light in front of it that you can turn it off and on. And then of course a protective cover, so in case you want to do a private call or anything like that. Now this camera can be used for multiple functions, right? Not just to view microscopic objects or also phone calls. You could do anything with this one, and we're going to use this one as a primary mostly when we're actually working with micro stuff, like if we're soldering or we want to go into details of some toys. This is perfect. Or anything you want to demo that you want your viewers or anybody to see, this is the camera to go. So we can mount this because they gave us a very heavy duty mount here that you can mount this actually behind a TV or a monitor, and then you can face it however you want. Now this one's very unique because it flexes, it has a nice grip, and also if you want to take this somewhere else, you could actually put it on a tripod too, so that's an option. Now I like that they include the batteries for the actual dial, and then the instructions. You do have to download some applications so you could manually control this or automatically control it. So let's go ahead and download the application and start using the camera and take a look at it. We're also going to use it for a video conference, see how well it works. And then we're going to try to see if we could see details on the smaller micro areas. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, I'm going to show you some features that I really like about this camera. Check this out, right? It's magnetic. So pretty much all the functions that you need, they're all magnetic, all right? So you don't have to worry about scrolling or anything or removing anything. And this comes off very simple off the mount. So if you're gonna put it behind the monitor, and look at this. So if you wanna see down a 90-degree angle, you can see right below the actual system. If you could bring this up to your actual subjects, also you could take it off and bring it down and do something micro with it. So all right, so very important, you have to go to their site. You have to find the application that you want. Now, there's two things you can do. If you have a Mac version, you would suggest Mac version will be here. But because we're doing Windows, we're going to do the Windows download. All right, let's go ahead and capture some of the features and go over a couple of things. So I do have the dial here, if you guys can see it, the BenQ. And look at this. I'm just moving just a little bit. And that's with the dial. I'm able to zoom in with it just by moving it, if you guys can see that. So that's a really good feature. Now I do have a picture, and I'm gonna push the camera so I can take a picture. And it capture the camera, it saves into a folder. Mute, we don't have the audio set up yet, but I am going to test it out. And this, you can mute this. Freeze, you can freeze the frame too, and then focus, you can focus in a certain area if you want to get a clearance. AF and MF. All right, so you push the button, it does some clearance. Now BenQ button, there is nothing on the top, but look at this. This is probably my favorite feature. You can see the corner on that on this corner right here where you can see it. We're going to actually write something, maybe an angle, and if you're doing micro viewing, this is a perfect way to do it. You can see different angles, different degrees, so people can understand the actual size of the object that they're using. All right, and I'm just pretty much setting up a bunch of things on it. Now we're going to take out the ruler. Now we're going to go to the pen part. In the pen part, I'm going to see if I could do yellow and then write something on the pen. So you could garbage it, and you could color somebody's glasses if you want. You know, I'm just doing this on the fly, but this is great if you're going to do presentations and other things. You can erase certain things. Let's see at this angle, this vertical, when it change. Whoa. Look at that. If you want to change the degree horizontal, we can always reset. It goes back to normal. And then on this one, rotate, flip screen, we could do that. We're going to try to see if we could do the angle. And it's just rotating the screens, and then the single one, and then the pinch. And this is mirroring it, actually mirroring the system. So in case you get some words that are upside down or you can't see them, this is the way you do it. Just by mirroring them. Focus in, this is the same thing we just did with the actual remote. So, and then you get more functions on the left hand side here. Source setting, image setting, capture settings, note settings, support, and about. So these are the functions that are in the camera itself. All right, so we got a couple of tests that we're going to do here. The best thing, I got the camera here, and what you can do is you could turn off the light too. If you want, if you guys can see that, the camera, turn off the light, turn on the light. And so let me turn on the light itself. You could focus in too. So if I put focus, it does a focusing in. All right. And we are going to see, this is a model that I have, and we're going to see if we could go a little bit details in there. And you could focus in. And like I said, you could blurriness. Look at that. It's going to try to focus in some of the stuff. Pull out. We're going to put the cap on here in the front. And we're going to put the actual system in here, and you could go into even more details, micro details on it. You can see some of the screws in there. And then if you lose focus, you could always go back trail and focus. So put this in there. Look at that. Fine details on the actual character that I'm reviewing. Face features. Look at that. You can zoom back out. Fine details. I'm already completely zoom in. Want to measure it to see a full length of it, you can do that too at the same time. I could just do angles if I want. That's up to you, measurements and so forth. Now, I like to talk when I'm doing stuff. I like to point out certain things that, it would be nice if they could complete this whole thing red here, completely red here, and then this one blue. It's just missing something. So we could talk about details like that in objects, and you could present on a live presentation on this, and then we go back to his face and simple. Here's a perfect example of how to use the camera. So if you ever do any online or live streaming of tutorials, this is a perfect way to show your audience what you're working in a microscope. So we're testing out BenQ with the actual Zoom call, and we're just going to make sure it works. So if you want to use this, you just make sure you drop down to the right camera. And if you notice, the camera's trying to zoom itself out. I do have studio light. So all the functions, we're capturing audio from the camera, video from the camera. I turn off all the lights pretty much, and it looks a little grainy, but that's part of it. If you add more light to your actual area, it'll look a lot better. So the camera functions are great. The accessories with the camera are also a plus. So if you're going to do this for anything, social media or your own production, this is perfect for if you're going to send out information about something that people cannot read or it's not legible, then this is a great item to have. You can move it around, use it as you please. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. 99.6 of you are not subscribers in my channel. I hope that the content helps you out and that you find it very useful. And I hope you hit the like and subscribe.